Yeah, well, our first game was to the Northern Territory, which was a tough game because they'd just come off their season. We didn't quite get up, we lost by a point, but it was hot conditions up there, and the last quarter I think went for 40 minutes, so it was a great introduction to the season for our guys.
30 minutes in this last quarter. Jake Barrett kicks on goal. It will not make the distance, no mark, tap through. It's a 1-point ball game.
Cameron on it to bring it in here.
There it is.
Siren goes. What a game of footy.
After that game we went on a really strong run where we had some really positive performances from players, and we were able to get some wins on the board. So our first part of the season, 5-6 games, was really strong, and we were sort of really dominating the competition in that period. So we were really pleased with the way that we started.
Being the premiership captain from last season and the grand final rematch from 45 metres out, and he's kicked that truly.
We came to a really challenging part after, I think it was about round 6, where we ended up losing 6 games in a row. We as the coaches had numerous discussions because we felt like those games, if we played our best footy, we should have won. So what we ended up doing, with having a fair few more senior experienced players in Beams, Bastanak, Buick, Lyons, who's only in his second year, but we decided to give those guys ownership of the team. So they started to really buy into that process and start to do the reviews of and the opposition analysis coming up for those games. So we started to give them the ownership of the team, and I think that certainly helped.
Preval in front, got the tap down, picked up by Beams. Oh, Clay Beams! Out of nowhere!
Level, still a chance for Lions. Beams now goes backwards to Bastanak, and he has a shot from 4 to go right to the line, and that's over.
Yeah, we had some really positives throughout the second half. I mean, Toby Wooler he got better with every game as the year went on, which was really pleasing. It was disappointing that we missed him at the start of the year because of his injury, but the way that he progressed was something that's really strong, and he's got to go away and work really hard in the pre-season to come back fit and strong, and hopefully he can do that. Sam Skinner was fantastic to come back after what he has, his difficult period of time with his knee reconstructions was fantastic. And we didn't put anything on Sam, we just said, mate, we just want you to go out there and enjoy it. In terms of playing senior footy or expectations this year, there's none for you. It's just go back to enjoying playing footy and being out there, and he took that on board, and his last game for us in the final was fantastic. At centre half back, he took a lot of intercept marks, I think 7 for the day, and he showed that he's progressed really in a good direction. Tom Fullerton, who come into the team halfway, I suppose, a bit over halfway through the year, he had to do a large training block because obviously he come from the basketball background, but we were really pleased with the way he came in. His attitude and his professionalism in terms of getting his knowledge up to the game plan straight away was spot on, and it was fantastic for him to be able to get a couple of games, albeit got injured as well. So he's been through a little bit in his 6 months that he's been at the club, but a full pre-season under his belt will certainly help him going forward. And then you've got guys like Zach Bailey, who was able to play senior footy, and Brendan Starcevic, who was able to play footy, and Matty Eagles and Oscar McInerney, who had played with us all last year. To be able to see them play senior footy was really exciting for us. Improvements. I think what we were able to see was a growth in our group to be able to start off the season really strong, to go through a patch and a period where things became difficult and challenging, probably more mentally than physically for players, and then to be able to dig our way out of that, and our last 6 games ended up becoming finals for us. I think that those guys who were involved for a period of time with us, which we had a large chunk of guys that played a lot of games, I think they can look back at that and say, oh, I actually learned something about myself throughout that period. So looking back at that, I think that's a real growth for us and positive.